Hello, y'all. My name is Robert Harris, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about prospecting and how to keep your sales pipeline full using both the 30-day rule and the law of replacement. Now, the real purpose of this lecture is to reveal how prospecting correctly can lead to easier closes on time, blowing your sales numbers up and out of the water. Now, prospecting is the act of generating sales leads through direct contact. You could use emails, social media, text messaging. However, the most used and proven most successful strategy in any inside sales role is cold calling prospects. Now, cold calling can strike fear in the eyes for even the most experienced salespeople. The act of interrupting someone's day and selling them something seems impossible. However, it is proven to have worked and will work in the present, the past, and will continue to generate leads and business in the future. Now, the importance of prospecting is one of the most overlooked parts of the sales cycle, even though it directly affects how high the win probability of deals may be in the pipeline. Now, many salespeople who are in sales slumps blame it on their closing ability, when really they did not put in the proper prospecting work to set themselves up for success. In professional sales trainer and author Jeb Blunt's book, Fanatical Prospecting, Jeb tells a story about his friend Greg, who is a sales veteran and is in a slump in the month of March. Now, Greg calls Jeb looking for help because he is frustrated about his slump. Jeb asks if the prospects he has been trying to close in March are the same prospects that he has been trying to close in February. Greg reluctantly says yes and asks for some help on closing techniques to finally help him close these deals that he's been working on for so long. Jeb asks Greg, "This might seem like a weird question, but how much were you working in December?" Greg replies, "We had a lot going on in December, and I really didn't get as much time in as I hoped. We also took a couple weeks off at the end of the year for the holidays." Jeb replies, "So you weren't prospecting as much as usual?" As soon as Jeb asks that question, Greg realizes his mistake and says, "Oh crap, Jeb, the 30-day rule. I didn't even see it." The 30-day rule states that the prospecting you do in the current 30-day sales cycle will affect your deals that you close for the next 30 days. Greg really didn't have a closing problem. He had a prospecting problem. He stopped prospecting in December, and it wasn't biting him in the rear until March. But because it was in the past 90 days, he didn't even realize it, even being a sales pro, and he thought it was just a closing issue. Now, ironically, when this happens, salespeople dig themselves into a deeper hole by continuing to call up current prospects and close those deals in order to fight their way out of the slump. When in reality, all the salesperson really needs to do is allocate more time to prospecting. Now, ignoring this rule can send you spiraling in your own head, leading to even long-term failure. Now, granted, this model is for B2B sales. In short cycle transactional sales, you can shorten this rule to a 1-week rule, where the prospecting from 1 week will determine your success in the next 3 weeks. Next, we will discuss what is referred to as the law of replacement. When the pipeline is currently full and deals are all closing in the current period, it is easy to ignore prospecting because 1, you are hot, deals are coming in, and 2, you're spending so much time on actually meeting with clients and closing these deals. However, the closing of deals shrinks the pipeline and can lead directly into a slump roller coaster. So let's look at a quick math equation. Let's say John has 30 prospects in his pipeline, and his closing percentage is 10%. John closes 1 deal. How many prospects remain in his pipeline? Now, most people will say 29. However, realistically, his pipeline has shrunk to only 20 prospects. Now, this is not to say that the other 9 deals are not closable, but just by the numbers, he will need to continue prospecting. Even though he still has 29 realistic actual people in the pipeline, he must go by the logic that not all 29 will be as easily closed as the first, and must continue to expand his pipeline. By this law of replacement, you should never overlook the importance of prospecting. Now, you might be thinking, Rob, how am I supposed to know my closing rate? Think about your favorite athlete. Do you think that if you asked them to say their stats from the past 3 games, they'd be able to rattle them off? Of course. Professional athletes spend so much time watching film, looking at their failures and successes in order to improve. Professional salespeople are the exact same way. You should look back on your past cycles in sales and think about what you need to do to improve them. 9 times out of 10, increasing prospecting or approaching prospecting in a more focused way can fix any sales slump in the long term. After all, with commission sitting before you in your eyes, right before your eyes. The more you know about your own performance, the more comfortable you will be financially, and the more confident you will be sitting in the actual sales setting. Now, the 30-day rule and the law of replacement really converge on the same main point. You can never stop prospecting unless you want to stop selling, which is just ridiculous. 99% of sales slumps come from a failure to prospect, and according to Jeb Blount, it can be narrowed down to the following specific things. Now, let's just go in order. Let's say at some point you stop prospecting. Think about the 30-day rule. Because you stop prospecting, your pipeline eventually stalls, as stated in the law of replacement. Now, as this continues, you begin to call these unclosed prospects in order to try to close them to boost your confidence. As this failure continues and continues, your confidence starts to be shaken and you are rattled. Therefore, you start to lose your enthusiasm in selling itself, and your prospects can hear that while speaking to them both on the phone and in person. Now, this puts you what is known as a slump, and a slump makes you desperate. Desperation, buyers can smell that even through the phone or miles away. But fear not. There is a simple solution to successful prospecting. As Jeb spent years consulting businesses on their sales performance, he found an underlying theme in those who had troubles prospecting. And the answer is real simple: procrastination. In his book, Fanatical Prospecting, Jeb tells the story of a sales organization who during their prospecting hours would just be either doing research on current prospects or just wasting time on the internet. This is not how you fill a pipeline, obviously. The answer to this problem, according to Jeb, is to set aside all distractions, just have your notes, your phone, and a pen. Set aside 30 minutes to an hour of direct prospecting. All research on these prospects should be done before this prospecting block starts. Studies have shown that you can get more done in an hour than in an entire day if you allocate your time correctly and minimize your distractions. This process of non-stop calling for a short period of time focuses you to truly lock in and put yourself in front and in the ear of customers. Though it may seem like a very simple concept, this process is why so many people fear the performance-based aspect of the sales industry. But if you prospect continuously through the steps we've discussed today, you'll have a long, fun, and fruitful career in sales. Now, in conclusion, really keeps main 2 points. Never stop prospecting and make sure to keep sales fun. Now, have a great day and have a great rest of the semester.